Order in.
俺が作るのは化けるふりかけご飯だ。
化けるふりかけですって。
さて仕上げだ。
ご飯の熱で溶けて、溶けると同時に卵が次々とコーティングされていく。
お上がりよ。
Orders up, service please. Today we're making the transforming Furikake Gohan from Shokugeki No Soma. To begin, we're setting a large frying pan over medium-high heat, and to that pan we're adding in 1 to 2 tablespoons of vegetable oil. Then once the oil is hot and shimmering, we're going to lay 8 to 10 chicken wings into the pan and let them fry off for a solid 5 to 6 minutes. Make sure you dry off your wings thoroughly with some paper towel before placing them into the pan too, because I forgot to do that and they were spitting oil everywhere. After 5 to 6 minutes, the wings should be ready to flip and they should look beautiful. Let the wings cook for another 5 to 6 minutes to again get some nice colouring on the other side, and when that's been achieved, we're going to deglaze the pan with 50 ml of soy sauce and scrape up all of that delicious fond that has formed on the bottom of our pan. Once you're happy that the bottom of the pan is clean, turn off the heat and set that to one side. Maybe take a moment to wipe down some of the oil splatter from your undried chicken wings.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
And then we can talk about making our aspic. Now, in the anime, Yukihira says he used bonito stock for his aspic. However, my fiance isn't the biggest fan of strong seafood flavors, so today I'm going to be using some leftover Chintan and Dashi double stock from last week's Ponyo Ramen episode, which by the way, you can check out by clicking that eye in the top right corner. Either way, with 700 ml of your stock of choice, add the cooked chicken wings and the soy sauce into the saucepan, along with 1 tablespoon or 15 ml of sake, 1 tablespoon or 15 grams of white sugar, 1 tablespoon or 15 ml of mirin, and 1 tablespoon or 15 grams of grated ginger. Give everything in the pan a quick stir before turning the heat to high and bringing the aspic to a boil. Once the aspic has come up to the boil, you should see that a small amount of scum has risen to the surface. We're going to skim that off before turning the heat down to low and letting this simmer for 1 hour or until the liquid has reduced by half its volume, skimming off any more scum that may arise during that time. 1 hour later, you can see that our aspic has reduced and significantly intensified in colour. At this point, we're going to remove it from the heat and strain the aspic through a sieve. Hold on to those chicken wings as well, we're going to need those again soon. Pour the strained aspic into a shallow container that's been lined with plastic wrap until it measures 1 centimeter in depth. If you've got some leftover aspic, just reserve it to one side and we can use it later when we're finishing up the chicken wings. Let the aspic in the container chill out for 10 minutes or so, and then we're going to carefully transfer it into the fridge and allow it to chill for at least 2 hours to firm up significantly. While the aspic is chilling in the fridge, let's talk about our wings. Now in the anime, Yukihira only uses chicken wingtips to make the aspic, but I wanted to make this meal feel a bit more substantial by using the meat from the chicken wings as well. After being simmered for an hour, these chicken wings have soaked up plenty of flavour and are also extremely tender. As you can see here, using a pair of forks, the meat just tears away from the bones with little effort. Now because these wings are quite small, I found that using my hands for this was a lot easier, but feel free to use whatever method you want to debone all the wings and tear up the meat. Then once all of the wings are deboned, we're going to set the meat to one side until it's time to serve up. So, 2 hours and 1 Ghost of Tsushima session later, seriously, why didn't I buy this game earlier? We've taken the aspic out of the fridge and you can see that the gelatin from the chicken wings has made the aspic firm up quite a bit. Now using a sharp knife, we're going to cut our aspic into 1 centimeter cubes. Now if you find that your aspic is still a little bit soft like mine is in the video, you could put it into the freezer for an extra 30 minutes or so to firm up further. I'm not too fussed by this since it's going to melt into the rice and eggs anyway, and having it a little bit looser will actually help in recreating that melting effect easier. Once the aspic cubes are cut, we're going to set them to one side in a ramekin for easier plating, and now let's quickly make some scrambled eggs and finish preparing that chicken meat. Into a small frying pan over medium heat, we're adding in 1 to 2 teaspoons of vegetable oil and letting that heat up until it's hot and shimmering. Then we're adding in some of the shredded chicken wing meat along with 1 to 2 tablespoons of our reserved aspic. Let that melt down and then stir together to thoroughly coat the meat. Once everything is warmed through and the chicken looks saucy and delicious, we're going to turn off the heat and then cover it with a lid to keep warm while we make our scrambled eggs. Now for our scrambled eggs, it couldn't be easier. In a bowl, we're whisking together 3 eggs until they're one homogeneous colour, and once the eggs are well whisked, we're heading back to the stove and melting down 1 tablespoon of butter over medium-low heat in a frying pan. Then once the butter is melted and foamy, we're going to pour the whisked eggs into the pan and constantly agitate the eggs to form small curds by using our chopsticks. During the cooking process, we're going to also alternate having the pan on and off the heat every 30 seconds or so to ensure that the pan doesn't get too hot and overcook our eggs. Use 2 or more sets of chopsticks at once so that you can form more of those small curds and in general just make life a bit easier. This technique of making curds with chopsticks is how you'd make soboro scrambled eggs like Soma made in the show. The only difference is that I'm leaving out the sugar that would normally go into an egg soboro. Then once the eggs are cooked to your liking, you're going to season them with salt and pepper and mix in another 1 to 2 teaspoons of butter just to stop the eggs from overcooking. Feel free to add sugar into this to make it a proper egg soboro if you want. Sweet scrambled eggs just aren't my thing. Either way, we're finally ready to put this dish together. To plate up this dish, we're starting with a bowl of steaming hot white rice to which we're going to scatter over some pieces of our cut aspic. Next, into the center of the bowl, we're adding a small mound of our saucy shredded chicken. Then we're pouring over our scrambled eggs, ensuring to completely cover the chicken meat and most of the rice to make this look show accurate, and then we're topping the eggs with another scattering of our cut aspic. You'll need to add more of this than you think because this stuff actually melts pretty quickly, making it extra annoying if you need to film and take photos of it. Finally, we're garnishing the dish with a sprinkling of finely sliced spring onions, and here you have the anime kitchen version of transforming Furikake Gohan from Shokugeki No Soma. Now, for the first time in anime kitchen history, I think, here's a time lapse so that you can see the aspic cubes slowly melting into the rice and eggs like it did in the show, and thus transforming the flavour of our dish as the sauce begins to mingle with every nook and cranny of the bowl. And now, after what felt like the longest minute of my life filming that time lapse for this video, let's dig in, shall we? And as for the taste, it is... Hey, get out of here, Erina. You're not even the best girl in the series. Disregarding Erina's tsundere tendencies, this dish is really good. The chicken aspic is packed full of savoury meaty flavour with a nice background warmth from the addition of the ginger. The meat from the chicken wings I feel is a great addition to this recipe, not only to bulk it out a bit more, but also to give a firmer but still tender texture to the dish. The scrambled eggs are beautifully creamy and work with the aspic to coat every grain of rice with each mouthful. It's a simple but delicious dish, and while it may not be the best thing I've ever eaten in my life, if a 15-year-old cooked this for me, I'd probably let them into my elite culinary school too. As always, my friends, thanks so much for watching today's episode. If you enjoyed it, let me know by dropping a like down below, and let me know in the comments what food from anime and other media you'd like to see me make in the future. Subscribe to the channel for a new episode every single week, and until then, pull up a chair, unfurl that napkin, and I'll see you in the anime kitchen. Cheers.